Welcome back to the show. We have the doctor on call. Ryan Stanton is here. Doc, you know the drill. Good to see you. We've got questions. You've got answers.
We'll do our best.
And we have some good ones for you this week. Some folks writing in with some interesting things here. Carrie wrote, I was just reading about the changes in Tylenol doses. Is this really a risk that I need to worry about? And how do I protect myself from these medications?
Well, that's a really good question. There's been a lot of stuff in the news recently about the Tylenol dosing. Children's doses have changed. Now this is the maximum strength, the 500 milligram tablet dose is being lowered for how many times you can take it a day. The reason being is Tylenol overdose sends about 56,000 people to the ER every year across the country.
Big number.
So it's actually one of the most common medications for overdose, accidental and on purpose. Now the risk really isn't the regular Tylenol. The risk is really more in the combination medicines where people are taking 2 or 3 things when they're feeling bad, not realizing that all of them have Tylenol in them. So some of the things to worry about, you're taking your extra strength Tylenol or acetaminophen, and then you throw on some Sudafed PE or some NyQuil, Dayquil. All of those have Tylenol in them. So what I can stress to the viewers is when you're taking something, look at the ingredients, make sure you know exactly what's in them. Another common one to have too much is Benadryl. It's in a lot of those sleep medicines as well. So make sure you know what's in the medicines. You aren't doubling up or stacking the doses, and that's where the big risk is. Actually, if you're just taking Tylenol or you're just taking a cold medicine, the toxic doses are so much higher than what they recommend that you really do need to be doing multiple medicines to get that level. So don't be afraid of it, but just be aware of what's in the other medicines that you're taking, and don't be taking Tylenol and then another medicine with Tylenol in it.
Good advice, and it sounds like it could happen to anyone.
It can. It's easy to do if you start feeling really bad. I know it's easy when you feel bad
to
hit the old drugstore and take a whole shelf full of stuff and think I've got to feel better.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, next question. Should I be worried about MRSA, MRSA? There is a lot of talk about it, and everyone acts like it's real bad. Okay.
For the trivia night party tonight, the MRSA means methicillin-resistant Staph aureus. Staph, is the literal translation from Greek is group of grapes. Staph means group of grapes. And the reason is that's what staph looks like under a microscope, right there. It's probably not quite nice and purple, but this is what they look like. Staph is on all of our skin. We carry germs on us. If you really knew the amount, you probably would get a little bit sick of how much bacteria is on our skin at any given time.
Try not to think about it.
But all the antibiotics, all the antimicrobial soaps and things we've used have really knocked off the weaker versions of this. So now we're starting to see some more resistant versions of staph. And what happens is any break in the skin, whether it's from an abrasion, a cut, where we shave, that can get in the skin and start to grow. So that's what we see. I see two or three of these per shift in the emergency department.
Wow.
And what they look like, honestly, is just an overinflated zit.
Okay.
But it's full of pus. It's where your body's trying to wall off that infection and protect you from that getting into the body. Most of those we treat with putting a hole in it to drain it out, putting you on some antibiotics. That's what it looks like right there, and that's what a lot of what I see in the emergency department. We put a circle around it to know how large it is. We'll open it up, drain that pus, and put you on some antibiotics. The risk of these are pretty small. We very rarely even have to admit people to the hospital for these types of things, but there are versions of MRSA that are more dangerous, get into pneumonia, meningitis, things like that are dangerous, but those are very, very rare. They're not typically associated with abscesses like this, but they do need to be addressed. They do need to be treated. Don't be scared of it, but also don't be trying to treat it at home. Come on over, let us see it, let us take care of it for you.
Good to know. I've got one more here. We're going to have to save it for next time, though.
Well, that sounds good.
All right, Doc, appreciate it as always. Dr. Ryan Stanton, and we will be back with ABC 36 News at 12:30 right after this.